Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss or study about our second chapter of civics, and in this chapter, it's the lesson 24 of your social book. In this chapter, we shall be discussing with institutional representation of democracy. In the previous chapter, we already discussed about democracy. We got about the different definitions provided by different leaders of democracy, and also we got that the American president Abraham Lincoln has forwarded the best definition of democracy, and according to him, democracy is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Now, in this chapter, we shall be dealing with few points like universal adult franchise. We shall discuss about election. We shall discuss about the political parties, and we shall discuss about role of opposition party and coalition government. First of all, we are going to study about universal adult franchise. What is the meaning of this is the right to vote is given to everyone of 18 years or more. In very simple sense, we can say universal adult franchise means when the right to vote, during the elections, the citizens, they generally cast their votes. When this right to vote is given to everyone, universal means it is given to everyone whose age is 18 years or more than that. Initially, it was fixed at 21 years, but later on, it has been reduced to 18 years. Means any person of our country whose age is 18 years or more than that can cast their votes. Maybe rich, maybe poor, maybe black or maybe white, maybe male, maybe female, whatever be their economic or social status, one person, one vote is one accepted principle of this universal adult franchise. What are its advantages? Why the universal adult franchise is important? I have written here 2 points. The first one is based on political equality. We already discussed in the previous chapter that democracy means equality. All the people, they have been given equality or equal status before the law. That's the simple meaning of democracy. So it is because of the presence of universal adult franchise that we can assure our political equality. How it is? Everyone, rich or poor, as I already told you, a person can be rich or can be poor. He may be young or may be old. He may be black or may be white. Maybe one man or one woman. But everybody has the right to vote. According to the principle of universal adult franchise, all the people whose age is 18 years, despite of their social category or economic status, have been availed the right to vote. That's the first importance. It is based on political equality. That's the first point. The second point, it establishes a true democratic government. All the points are linked with one another. As I just told you, the democracy means equality. So if universal adult franchise is not there, that means all the people, they do not have equality, and if equality is not there, democracy is not successful. So we can say it is because of the presence of universal adult franchise a true democratic government can be set up. It fulfills the policy of democracy, that is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We already got the definition of democracy. It is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So through the process or the system of universal adult franchise, all the people, they take part in electing their representatives. So we can say universal adult franchise, it establishes a true democratic government. That's about universal adult franchise and its importance. I hope it is clear. The second point that we are going to study is here about elections. I hope everybody have heard the elections. Through these elections, we generally elect our representatives. The very simple definition of it is process of electing our representatives or our leaders. Our leaders like the MLAs, the MPs, the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister, and even the President, they all are the representative of the people. And in a huge country with a vast population like ours, it is very difficult to run the government by all the citizens. All the citizens, they cannot run the government. They need their representatives, and that's why elections are important. Two importances I have written here, you see. The first one, all citizens cannot run the administration. In a country, so many people are there, and if everybody wants to make laws, if everybody wants to rule the country, it is not possible. Only their representatives can do it. A country can be ruled or can be governed or can be administered only by their representatives. And for electing these representatives, what is important? Elections are important. For example, if you will take one very practical example of your classroom, in a class you generally choose your captain, class captain. Why to choose a class captain? To maintain discipline in the classroom, we need the help of the captain. That captain is a representative of the class, of your class or the respective classes. So in the country also, to elect these representatives, we need the elections. The second one, through elections people can change the government, and as such the government is also controlled. So we can say that the government, we elect our representatives, but there is always a chance that these representatives or the elected representatives or leaders, they will misuse their power. And in case if the representatives or the leaders misuse their power, we can change the government in the next election. And because of that reason, the government, they cannot misuse the power. We shall be discussing in class 8, one chapter is there about this misuse of power. We shall be reading in detail then. And in this way, through the process of election, we can say government is also controlled, and that's why we can say elections are very important. Well, as we discussed about election, now comes how this process of election is generally conducted. Different steps are there, simply it cannot be conducted. Processes involved in an election, we can say mainly 8 steps are there. For the smooth functioning of the election, total 8 steps are there. Let me explain you one by one. The first one, announcement of election dates. In our country, there is one election commission. Election commission, even you can see the picture, I have shown you the election commission of India, the building of election commission. There, announcement of election dates. First of all, the election commissioner, the person who is the head of the election commission, he will announce the date for election. Suppose the date has been fixed at 6th of September 2020. For example, I am taking this date has been given by the election commission for the election or for the voting date. This is the first step. Once the date has been announced by the election commission, now comes selection of candidates. Selection of candidates means, in a country different political parties are there. I shall be telling you, it is there in your same chapter. Different political parties like the Indian National Congress, INC, Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, these different political parties, they will select their own candidates for different posts, maybe for MLA, maybe for MP, or even maybe for Chief Minister or Prime Minister. So date is announced, candidates are selected. Now, filling the nomination papers, their scrutiny, withdrawal of nomination and publication of final list. Once the candidates are selected, then they will file their nomination papers. They will file these papers to the election commission. The election commission, they will scrutiny the nomination papers, means they will carefully judge the papers if all the informations are authentic or not. After that, all the candidates, they are also availed one chance to withdraw their nomination. If they by themselves want to withdraw their nomination, or they do not want to take part in the election, they can withdraw their nomination or the names. And once it is done, then finally the election commission, they will publish the final list. The final list of the candidate will be published by the election commission. That's the third step. After the final list is published, then comes allotment of symbols. Now comes about symbols. I hope you have seen the different political parties, they have their own symbols. Like the Indian National Congress, its symbol is human hand. The Bharatiya Janata Party, the present ruling government of our country, it has lotus as its symbol. These symbols, the national parties or the permanent parties, they have their own permanent symbols, but some other local parties may also be there. They will be allotted the symbol, or they will be given the symbol by the election commission. So symbol is allotted. After this, issuing of election manifestos. What is the meaning of election manifestos? Before the election, the different political parties, they will publish their wish, their desires in one form of booklet or in the paper. That's the election manifesto. Their everything, their aim, their purpose, all these things will be written. So the political parties, they will publish the election manifestos. After that comes the campaigning. Campaigning means, I hope you have seen in the TV or in real life also, people go on shouting that vote for BJP or vote for Congress, like that. This campaigning, even it includes postering, holding meetings, all these things comes under campaigning. And always remember, campaigning, it continues for a long time, but 48 hours before the polling, as I already told you, 6th September is the date fixed here for the election. 48 hours before 6th September, the campaigning will stop. Means within these 48 hours, they cannot, no political party can go for campaigning. So campaigning stops, then finally the date arrives, and on this particular date, all the people whose age is 18 years or more than that, they will go to the voting center or the polling station and they will cast their votes. That is the 7th step, voting. Once the citizens, they casted their votes, then the votes will be counted, and after counting the votes, finally the election commission will declare the result, which political party is the winner of the election. But till here the election process is not completed. Once the result is declared by the election commission, if any political party or candidate feels that the result is not just, the result is not justified, or he is not satisfied with the result, he can go to the court and he can file the election petition. What is the meaning of election petition? Once the election petition is filed, the election commission will decide if re-voting is needed or not. So these are the different processes which are involved in the process of election. I've not gone in detail, because in some other chapters every point we are going to discuss in detail. In simple sense, we can say these are the 8 steps which are involved in the process of election. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about the different political parties. We can say political parties, it can be classified into mainly 2 types. One is national political parties, and second one is state political parties. National political parties, they are the national level as well as the state level, and some states, they also have their independent political parties. They are known as the state political parties. For example, national parties, we can say BJP, that is Bharatiya Janata Party. We can say INC, that is Indian National Congress. Even some others are there, I will show you. And state political parties are the political parties who work independently in their own state. Like, if we will take the example of our state, Arunachal Pradesh, here one political party is there, PPA, People's Party of Arunachal. That's one state political party of Arunachal Pradesh. If you will see page number 181 and 182 of your book, you can see different political parties are given. Let me show you in the book. You can see here, these are the national parties of our country. The first one is given Bahujan Samaj Party, which is also known as BSP. It's one national political party with the elephant as their symbol. You can say Bharatiya Janata Party or Indian People's Party, which is also commonly known as BJP, where the symbol is given here lotus. One more, Communist Party of India. Then you can say Communist Party of India, Marxist, Indian National Congress, Nationalist Congress Party. These are the different national political parties. You can see it is written here, national parties of our country. Even some states, they also have their independent parties. You can see here it is given state political parties. One is here All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. This is one state political party. All India Forward Bloc, Arunachal Congress, Assam Gana Parishad. Like that, if you go through this page number 181, you can see here different other state political parties are there. So what we can say, political parties can be classified in 2 types. One is national political parties and second one is state political parties. Now we are proceeding towards the next point of this chapter. It's about role of opposition parties. As I already told you that different political parties are there in the country, and after election only one party will win the election. The next party with clear majority is known as the official opposition party. For example, suppose say there are total 100 number of MPs. For example, I have taken 100 MPs are there. Out of this 100 MPs, let's say BJP, they got 70 MPs, and INC, that is Indian National Congress, for them the number of MP is 30. So you can see here BJP got the majority, that means BJP will form the ruling government, and just after BJP, INC has got the next number of MPs, so this INC will form the opposition party. And we can say opposition parties are very important. Of course, ruling party will make the laws according to their plan and policies and will administer the country. At the same time, opposition parties are also very important. Why are they important? See, I have taken here 2 points. Opposition party checks the government and opposes any measure of the government if it is a threat to the citizens' right. As just before some time I told you that there is always a chance where the ruling party or the majority party can misuse their powers, and this misuse is generally checked by the opposition parties. When the ruling party will make any rule or any law, and if it goes against the larger interest of the people, or if it violates the citizens' right, at that time it can be checked or it can be opposed by the opposition parties. Second one, it constructively criticizes the policies and programs of the government. Whatever policies are made by the government, whatever programs are designed by the government, that is the government is the ruling party, all these policies and programs are criticized by the opposition party, and because of this criticize, the people of the country, they come to know about the policies and the programs of the government, and if it is a threat or if it is against the constitution, if it is against the right of the people of the country can oppose it. So that's the importance of opposition parties in democracy. Now, the last point that we are going to discuss in this chapter is about coalition government. Let me tell you about coalition government. When a single political party fails to form its own government, then it joins with other political parties and form the government. Sometimes it happens that a particular political party fails to obtain the clear majority to form the government. At that time, they join with some other political parties and form the government, and that type of government is generally known as coalition government. For example, just think or just imagine total 100 MPs are there, and I am taking here 3 political parties. One I have taken as BJP, one I have taken as INC, another one I have taken as BSP. You can see 3 political parties are there. After the election, just imagine BJP got 40 MPs, INC got 35 MPs, and BSP got 25 MPs, that equal to 100. Alright, now as I told you, if any political party wants to form its government, it has to secure more than 50% of votes. Here 100 MPs are there, so if a single political party wants to form its own government, it has to get minimum 51 MPs. Now this is the election result. You can see here BJP got 40 MPs, INC got 35 MPs, and BSP got 25 MPs, but no political party has got here 51 MPs. That means here a single political party cannot form the government. In such a situation, it happens, suppose BJP and BSP, they join together. If they join together, you can see now the number of MPs that they have is 65 MPs now they have, which is more than 51, that is more than 50%. Such type of government where more than 1 or 2 or 3, even it can be more also, they join together and form the government, that type of government is known as the coalition government. So that's all about this chapter. In this chapter we have discussed about different topics like universal adult franchise, we have got about election, we have got about political parties, ruling party as well as opposition party, and also we discussed about coalition government. Now it is the time for you to go through the chapter, you read it, underline the important points, and then you complete the homework. You can see the homework is given here. I have given only 3 questions. The first one is write the full forms of BJP, BSP, INC and CPI. Second question, name the present Prime Minister and the President of India, our country. Both are short answers. And the third question is explain in your own words how the process of election is conducted. We have already got about the different 8 steps for the conduction of election. All these things you have to write in your own words and you have to send to me in time. Thank you.